Don't think for a moment that lynchings during the Jim Crow era were reserved for black men. In 1911, in a place called Okemah, Oklahoma, a mother and her teenage son were hanged from a bridge, and the world watched. The lynching of Laura Nelson and her son, L.D. Nelson, on May 25, 1911, remains one of the most harrowing examples of racial and gendered terror in American history. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't hearsay. It was photographed and printed as a postcard. Laura Nelson was about 25 years old, a wife, a mother, and a protector. She lived with her husband and children near Okemah, a small town in newly founded Oklahoma. In early May 1911, a white deputy sheriff named George Loney was shot and killed while searching the Nelson home for stolen livestock. L.D., Laura's son, was accused of firing the fatal shot. Laura herself was arrested. Some reports say for trying to shield her son, others claim for attempting to hide the weapon. They were taken to the Okefah County Jail in Okemah to await trial. They never made it to court. On the night of May 24th, a white mob of roughly 40 men who knew exactly how to get inside that jail, overpowered the jailer and kidnapped them. Laura and her son were driven 6 miles out of town to a bridge spanning the North Canadian River. There, the mob hanged them side by side. At sunrise, their bodies were discovered, and within hours, a photographer captured the scene: the lifeless bodies of a black mother and son, suspended from the bridge, while white townspeople looked on. That image became a postcard, printed, sold, passed from hand to hand like a souvenir of supremacy. No one was ever arrested. No one was charged. Not one man faced justice. And though official records never mention sexual assault, historians note that in lynchings involving black women, such atrocities were common. This was Oklahoma, not Mississippi, not Alabama, but Oklahoma, a state barely 4 years old, a state already drenched in the same racial bloodlust that stained the South. The impunity was total. The silence, absolute. Laura Nelson's death reminds us, black women were not spared by white supremacy. They were targets. In death, Laura Nelson became both symbol and warning. Her story tells us what this country was, and what it too easily forgets. Her name deserves more than a footnote. It deserves remembrance, and her murder deserves to be called what it was: a lynching, sanctioned by a silent and uncaring American government. Not all of America's monsters wore hoods. A small town of white Americans killed Laura Nelson and her young son, and they did so with impunity. To learn more, read Dixieland, Tales, Stories, and Anecdotes of Unfiltered Black American History, available now on Amazon.com.